The complete works of Swami Vivekananda, Volume 6, Section 4. Epistles. I tell you, brother, let everything go on as it is. Only take care that no form becomes necessary. Unity in variety. See that universality be not hampered in the variety. See that universality is see that universality be not hampered in the least. Everything must be sacrificed, if necessary, for that one sentiment, universality. Whether I live or die, whether I go back to India or not. Remember this specially, that universality, perfect acceptance, not tolerance only. We preach and perform. Take care how you trample on the least rights of others. Many a huge ship has foundered in the whirlpool. Remember, perfect devotion minus its bigotry. This is what we have got to show. Through His grace, everything will go all right. Everybody wants to be a leader, but it is the failure to grasp that He is born that causes all this mischief. Our martyrs are all hale and hearty, I hope. Where is Gaur Mother? Gaurma. We want 1,000 such mothers with the noble, stirring spirit. We want all. It is not at all necessary that all should have the same faith in our Lord as we have, but we want to unite all the powers of goodness against all the powers of evil. A besetting sin with sannyasin is the taking pride in their monastic order. That may have its utility during the first stages, but when they are full grown, they need it no more. One must make no distinctions between householders and sannyasins. Then only one is true sannyasin. A movement which half a dozen penniless boy set on foot, which now bids fair to progress in such an accelerated motion. It a humbug or a Lord's will? If it is then, let all give up party spirit and jealousies and unite in action. A universal religion cannot be set up through the party factions. If all understand one day for a minute that one cannot become great by mere wish, that he only rises whom he rises whom he raises, and he falls whom he brings down, then all trouble is at an end. But there is that egoism, hollow in itself and without the power to move a finger. How ludicrous of it to say, I won't let anyone rise. That jealousy, that absence of conjoined action is a very nature of enslaved nations. But we must try to shake it off. The terrible jealousy is characteristic of us. You will be convinced of this if you visit some other countries. Our fellows in this respect are the enfranchised Negroes of this country. If but one amongst them rises to the greatest greatness, all the others would at once set themselves against him and try to level him down by making a common cause with the whitest. At any cost, any price, any sacrifice, we must never allow that to creep in among ourselves. Whether we be 10 or 2, do not care, but those few must be perfect characters. It is not good to ask of one's father, if the Lord keeps his promise, to look after his devotees, and the Lord will do so. Set your minds easy on that score. We must spread his name in Rajputana, Punjab, UP, Madras, and such other provinces. Yes, in Rajputana, where still there are people who can say, such has ever such has ever been the custom with Raghu's line, that they keep their word even at the cost of life. A bird, in the course of its flight, reaches a spot whence it looks on the ground below with supreme calmness. Have you reached that spot? He who has not reached there has no right to teach others. Relax your limbs and float with the current, and you are sure to reach your destination. Cold is making itself scarcey by degrees, and I have been almost through the winter. Here in winter, the whole body becomes charged with electricity. In shaking hands, one feels a shock accompanied by a sound. You can light the gas with your finger, and about the cold, I have returned to you already. I am coursing through the length and breadth of the country, but Chicago is my monastery, where I always return after my wandering. I am now making for the east. He knows where the bark will reach the shore. Has Dasu the same sort of love for you? Does he see you frequently? How is Bhavanath? And what is he doing? Do you visit him and look upon him with an eye of regard? Yes, brother, the distinction between sannyasin and layman is a fiction. Therefore, etc. He makes the dumb fluent, etc. My friend, it is difficult to judge what is in the particular individual. Sri Ramakrishna has spoken highly of him, and he deserves for our respect. Fie upon you if you have no faith even after so much experience. Does he love you? Please convey to him my hearty love and esteem. My love to Kali Krishna Babu. He is a very noble soul. How is Ramalal? He has got a little faith and devotion. My love and greetings to him. Sayan is moving all right with the meal, I suppose. Ask him to have patience and the meal will go on all right. My heart's love to all. Ever yours in love, Vivekanand. 55. Salutation to Bhagwan Ramakrishna. March or April 1894. My dear Ekanand, I am very glad to receive your letter. It is a great pleasure to me to learn that you have regained your health to a great extent by your stay at Khetri. Brother Tarak Shivanand has Brother Tarak Shivanand has done a good deal of work in Madras. Very agreeable news indeed. I heard much praise of him from people of Madras. Try to develop spirituality and philanthropy amongst Thakuras in different places of Rajputana. We must work, and this cannot be done by merely sitting idle. Make a trip now and then to Malsisar, Alcisar, and all the other Sars that are there, and carefully learn Sanskrit and English. Gunanidhi is in Punjab, I presume. Convey my special love to him and bring him to Khetri. Learn Sanskrit with his help and teach him English. Let me have his address by all means. Go for door to door amongst the poor and lower classes of the town of Khetri and teach them religion. Also let them have oral lesson on geography and such other subjects. No good will come of sitting idle and having princely dishes and saying Sri Ramakrishna, O Lord, unless you can do some good to the poor. Go to other villages from time to time and teach the people the art of life as well as religion. Work, worship, and jnana, knowledge. First work, and your mind will be purified. Otherwise, everything will be fruitless, like pouring oblations on a pile of ashes instead of it the secret fire. Sacred fire. When Gunanidhi comes, move your from door to door of the poor and the destitute in every village of Rajputana. If people object to the kind food you take, give it up immediately. It is preferable to live on grass for the sake of doing good to others. The the Geru rope is not for enjoyment. It is a banner of heroic work. You must give your body, mind, and speech to the welfare of the world. You have read, look upon your mother as God. Look upon your father as God. But I say, the poor, the illiterate, the ignorant, and the afflicted, let this be your God. Know that service to this alone is the highest religion. Ever yours with blessing, Vivekananda. 56. Salutation to Bhagwan Ramakrishna. Summer 1894. Dear and beloved, your letter gives me all the news over there. I am grieved to hear of the bereavement Balram Babu's wife has sustained. Such is the Lord's will. This is the place for action, not enjoyment. And everyone will go home when his task is done. Some earlier, some later. That is all. Fakir has done. Well, such is the will of the Lord. It is the welcome news that Sri Ramakrishna's festival has come off with great elect. The more his name is spread, the better it is. But there is one thing to know. Great sages come with special messages for the world and not for name. But their followers throw their teachings overboard and fight over their names. This is the verily history of the world. I do not take into any consideration whether people accept his name or not. But I am ready to lay down my life to help his teachings, his life, and his message spread all over the world. What I am most afraid of it is the worship room. It is not bad in itself, but there is a tendency in some to make this all in all and set up the old fashioned nonsense over again. This is what makes me nervous. I know why they busy themselves with those old ascetic ceremonials. Their spirit craves for work, but having no outlet, they waste their energy in ringing bells and all that. I am giving you a new idea. If you can work it out, then I shall know you are a man and will be of service. Make an organized plan. A few cameras, some maps, some globes, some chemicals, etc. are needed. The next thing you want is a big hut. Then you must get together a number of poor, indigent folks. Having done all this, show them pictures to teach them astronomy, geography, etc. and preach Sri Ramakrishna to them. Try to have their eyes open as to what has taken place or is taking place in different countries, what this world is like, and so forth. You have got lots of poor and ignorant folk there. Go to their cottages from door to door in the evening, at noon, any time, and open their eyes. Books, etc. won't do. Give them oral teachings. Then slowly extend your centers. Can you do all this or only bell ringing? I have heard everything about Brother Tarak from Madras. They are highly pleased with him. Dear Brother Tarak, if you go to Madras and live there for some time, a lot of work will be done. But before you go, start this work there first. Can't the lady devotees convert some widows into disciple, and can't you put a bit of learning into their head, and can't you then send them out to preach Sri Ramakrishna from door to door and impart education along with it? Come, apply yourselves heart and soul to it. The day of gossip and ceremonials is gone. My boy, you must work now. Now let me see how far a Bangali's religion will go. Niranjan writes that the two Abhutananda wants some warm clothing. The people here import winter clothing from Europe and India. You will get the woolen wrap in Calcutta at one fourth of the price at which I might buy it here. I don't know when I shall go to Europe. Everything is uncertain with me. I am getting on somehow in the country. That is all. This is very funny country. It is now summer. This morning it was as hot as April in Bengal, but now it is cold. It is as cold as February at Allahabad. So much fluctuation within hours, within 4 hours. The hotel of this country beggar description. For instance, there is a hotel in New York where a room can be hired for up to 5,000 a day, 5,000 rupees a day, excluding boarding charges. Not even in Europe is there a country like this in point of luxury. It is indeed the richest country in the world where money is drained off like water. I seldom live in hotels, but am mostly the guest of big people here. To them, I am a wildly known man. The whole country knows me now. So, wherever I go, they receive me with open arms into their homes. Mr. Hale's home is my center in Chicago. I can I call his wife mother and his father or daughter call me brother. I scarcely find a family so highly pure and kind. Or why should God shower his blessings on them in such abundance, my brother? Oh, how wonderfully kind they are. If they chance to learn that a poor man is in the strait at such and such place, there they will go, ladies and gentlemen, to give him food and clothing and find some job for him. And what do we do? In summer, they leave their homes to go to the foreign land or to the seasides. I too shall go somewhere, but have not yet fixed a place. In other points, they are just as you see Englishmen. They have got books and things of that sort, but very dear. You can have 5 times those things in Calcutta for the same price. In other words, these people will not let the foreign goods be imported into the country. They set a heavy tax on them, and as a result, the market goes up enormously. Besides, they are not much in the way of manufacturing clothing, etc. They constrict machineries, tools and machineries, and grow wheat, rice, cotton, etc., which are fairly cheap. By the by, nowadays we nowadays we we have plenty of hilsa fish here. Eat your fill, but everything digests. There are many kinds of fruits, plantains, lemons, guava, apple, almond, raisin, and grapes are in abundance. Besides, many other fruits come from California. There are plenty of pineapples, but there are no mangoes or lychees and things of that sort. There is a kind of Spanish which, when cooked, tastes just like our note of Bengal. Another class, which they call asparagus, taste exactly like a tender dango herbs. But kalia, any but but you can't have our charchari made of it here. There is no kalia or any other pulses. They do not even know of them. There is rice and bread and numerous varieties of fish and meat of all descriptions. Their menu is like that of the French. There is your milk, rarely curd, but plenty of willy. Cream is an article of everyday use. In tea and coffee and everything there is cream, not the hardened crust of boiled milk, mind you. And there is your butter too, and ice water. No matter whether it is summer or winter, day or night, whether you have good health or bad cold or fever, you have ice water in abundance. These are scientific people and laugh when they are told that ice water aggravates cold. The more you take, the better. And there is plenty of ice cream, all sort of shapes, of all sort of shapes. I have seen the Niagara Falls 7 and 8 times. The Lord be praised. Very grand, no doubt, but not quite as you have heard them spoken of. One day in winter, we had a auro, auro, aurora borealis. Only Chinese prelate. I have not much time to listen to that sort of things in this life. It will be time enough to see if I can do that in the next. Yogin has completely railed by this time, I hope. The vagabond spirit of Saradha is not at an end, I see. What is wanted is a power of organization. Do you understand me? Have any of you got that much brain in your head? If you do, let your mind work. Brother Tarak, Sharat, and Hari will be able to do it. Has got very little originally, but is a very good workman and preserving which is an essential necessity, and Shashi, that is Ramakrishnananda, is exclusive to a degree. We want some disciples, very young men, do you see? Intelligent and brave, who dare to go to the jaws of death and are ready to swim the ocean across. Do you follow them or do you follow me? We want hundreds like that, both men and women. Try your utmost for the ant alone. Make convert right and left. Put them into our purity drilling machine. What made you communicate to the Indian mirror of Paramahamsa Dev? Used to call Narendra such and such and all sort of nonsense, as if he had nothing else to do but that. Only thought reading and nonsensical mystery mongering. It is excellent that Sayal is visiting you often. Do you write letters to Gupta? Convey to him my love and take kind care of him. Everything will come right by degrees. I don't find much time to write heaps of letters. As for lectures and all and so forth, I don't prepare them forehand. Only one I wrote out, which you have printed. The rest I deliver offhand, whatever comes to my lips. Gurudev backs me up. I have nothing to do with pen and paper. Once at Detroit, I held forth for 3 hours as a stretch. Sometimes I myself wonder at my own achievement to think that there was such stuff in this pate. They ask me here to write a book. Well, I think I must do something that way this time. But that's the botheration. Who will take the trouble of putting things in black and white and all that? We must electrify society, electrify the world. Idle gospel and barren ceremonials won't do. Ceremonials are meant for householders. Your work is the distribution and the propagation of thought current. If you can do that, then it is all right. Let character be formed, and then I shall be in your midst. Do you see? We want 2,000 sannyasin, nay, 10 or even 20,000, men and women, both. What what are our patrons doing? We won't convert at any risk. Go and tell them, and try heart yourselves, heart and soul, not householders' disciples. Mind you, we want sannyasin. Let each one of you have 100 heads tonsured, young educated men, not fools. Then you are heroes. We must make a sensation. Give up your passion or passive attitude, greed your loins and stand up. Let me see you make some electric circuit between Calcutta and Madras. Start centers at places. Go on always making converts. Convert everyone into the monastic order, whoever seeks for it, irrespective of sex, and then I shall be in your midst. A huge spiritual tidal wave is coming. He who is low shall become a noble, and he who is ignorant shall become the teacher of the great scholars through his race, through his grace. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Life is ever expanding. Contraction is death. The self seeking man who is looking after his personal comfort and leading a lazy life, there is no room for him, even in hell. He alone is a child of Sri Ramakrishna who is moved to pity for all creations and exert himself for them, even at the risk of incurring personal damnations. Others are vulgar people. Whoever at the great spiritual junction will stand up with the courageous heart and go on spreading from door to door, from village to village, his message is alone my brother and a son of his. This is the test. He who is Ramakrishna's child does not seek his personal good. They wish to do good to others, even when at a point of death. Care for those that care for their personal comfort and seek a lazy life, who are ready to sacrifice all before their personal whims, are none of us. Let them pack off while at there is time. Propagate his character, his teachings, his religion. This is the only spiritual practice, the only worship. This verily is the means, and this the goal. Arise, arise, a tidal wave is coming onward. Men and women down to the Chandala, all are pure in his eyes. Onward, onward. There is no time to care for name or fame, or mukti or bhakti. We shall look to them some other time. Now, in this life, let us infinitely spread his lofty character, his sublime life, his infinite soul. This is the only work. There is nothing else to do. Wherever his name will reach, the veriest worm will attain divinity, nay, is actually attaining it. You have got eyes and don't you see it? Is it a child's play? Is it silly prattle? Is it silly prattle? Is it foolery? Arise, awake, great Lord, He is at our back. I cannot write any more. Onward. I only tell you this, that whoever reads this letter will imbibe, imbibe my spirit. Have faith onward, great Lord. I feel as if somebody is moving my hand to write in this way onward. Great Lord, everyone will be swept away. Take care, he is coming. Whoever will be ready to serve him. No, not him, but his children, the poor and the downtrodden, the sinful and the afflicted, down to the very worm, who will be ready to serve this in them. He will manifest himself through their tongue, and the goddess of learning herself will speak the dive mother, the embodiment of all power, will enthrone herself in their hearts. Those that are atheist, unbeliever, worthless, and popist, why do they call themselves as belonging to this fold? Yours affectionately, Vivekanand. P.S. The term organization means division of labor. Each does his own part, and all the part taken together expresses an ideal of harmony. 57. Brooklyn, 28 December 1894. Dear Mrs. Bull, I arrived safely in New York, where Lensburg met me at the depot. I proceeded at once to Brooklyn, where I arrived in time. We had a nice evening. Several gentlemen belonging to the Ethical Cultural Society came to see me. Next Sunday, we shall have a lecture. Dr. James was, as usual, very kind and good, and Mr. Higgins is as practical as ever. Here alone in New York, I find more men interested in religion than in any other city, and do not know why here the interest is more amongst men than women. Herewith I send Herewith I send a copy of that pamphlet Mr. Higgins had published about me. Hope to send more in future. With my love to Miss Farmer and all the Holy Family. I remain yours obediently, Vivekanand.